I'm 36 years old, Caleb Monroe, and I've been living as the golden daughter's husband in a family that thrives on looks. My wife, Celeste, she's the accessory no one asked for. The Monroe family legacy? Attorneys, architects, designers. A flawless, customized package. Me? I run a medium-sized electrical contracting business. Something I built from the ground up. No leg ups, no inheritance, just burned fingertips, long nights, and enough perseverance to turn a van and a dream into something real. But reality isn't. Appreciated, not by her, and definitely not by her parents. I was the one constantly asked to take the pictures at family gatherings. Not her sister, not any of the Monroes. Caleb, you've got the longest arms. Always get a group photo for us. And when I tried to include myself, her mother, Lorraine, gave me that tight look. It was like I was the tripod that came with the marriage. Celeste would just shrug and say, maybe just one of the family for this one. The implication? I wasn't. Her mom would run her fingers over my hair and say, they're just old school. But her dad? At formal events, I was always introduced as Caleb the handyman. At every birthday party, someone would ask me to change the porch light without even saying hello, and Celeste never corrected them, not once. It's the kind of thing that leaves tiny, jagged paper cuts. You don't notice how deep they go until years later, when you're still bleeding. So I wasn't holding my breath when her sister Danielle invited us to her wedding. This time, the invitation came on hand-pressed creamy cardstock, embossed in gold. Our names were printed together on the envelope, but even then, Mr. and Mrs. Caleb still felt separated somehow. I knew better. They weren't inviting me. They were inviting her. I was just linked. Celeste was thrilled. Me? The wedding weekend loomed like a dentist appointment, something to endure, not enjoy. She picked out a floor-length blue gown weeks in advance. It had a slit that made her look like royalty. "You're wearing your gray suit, right?" she asked, smoothing a wrinkle in my jacket. "It brings out your eyes." I nodded, smiled, not because I cared about the suit, but because I still cared about her. From the moment we pulled up to the Vineyard estate, the pressure was real. Valets in black vests swept our car away like it was a hurricane. Three-string musicians played near the hedges. Guests floated by in clean linen and heritage pearls. Celeste was swept into the champagne and the laughter, and I followed, like an extra in someone else's film. A wedding planner met us near the welcome tent, clipboard in hand. "Name?" she asked, barely glancing up. "Caleb," I said. Cleared my throat. "Monroe," she paused, grinned, tapped her pen. "Oh, yes, you're in the spouse section." She pointed across the lawn. "Right over there." I looked where she pointed, thin, gray folding chairs, gently swaying near the side exit, next to the dumpsters. "It's just for extended guests," she added, already turning away. Extended, not family, not guest of honor, not even by marriage. Just extra. I glanced back at the main dining area. Elegant name cards. Reserved seating for close friends and family. Julian was there, Celeste's college ex. Of course, smiling at the bridal table like he never left. He whispered something. She laughed, her hand resting on the back of his chair like he still belonged there. I stood off to the side, envelope in hand. It wasn't just a card. Inside was the check, the one I wrote to help pay for the lighting, my contribution. But my name, not on the program. No thank you, no mention. I wasn't angry, not yet. I was just numb. I had paid to make this place light up, and there's a specific kind of humiliation that becomes comfortable, like an old coat you keep wearing, because it still fits. I sat down in the folding chair, hands on the envelope, watching a family that never once picked me. I wasn't part of the music or the celebration. And then it hit me. I didn't belong here, not with resentment, not with bitterness, just Truth. I sat there longer than I should have. The metal cold through my pants. And maybe, just maybe, I was done pretending. That chair groaned every time I shifted. And still, I watched. The wedding was a perfect painting. Soft. Pastels, drifting dresses, crystal glasses, everything choreographed, everyone had a role, a label, mine, spouse, side exit, disposable. I held the envelope in my lap. A bit too thick for a normal card? Inside? $5,000. Not a last-minute gift, not an afterthought. I spent weeks planning the lighting, designing the layout for the flower arches, staying late to test wiring. I told myself I was being generous, that it would mean something. But it didn't. Nobody noticed. Not even Celeste. She hadn't checked in. Hadn't looked for me. Not once. She was too busy leaning into Julian, her old flame, laughing, touching his arm. Like I was yesterday's news, left behind with the coat check. I nodded. Businesslike. Then stood up. And I walked. Not in anger. Not in a fit. Just clarity. The servers passed by with drinks and tiny plates. None for me. I didn't exist in their script. It was never about the seat. It was about what that seat meant, where they placed me in their world. Not family, not guest, just ghost. I looked down at the envelope. Thought about Danielle reading it later, wondering who it was. From. Would she even know it was me? Or would it just be from Celeste's husband? I stood, slid the envelope back into my jacket pocket, straightened up, and walked into the center of it all. People noticed. Their eyes followed, soft and curious. Past cousins, friends, strangers. Her father raised a glass toward me like I was a waiter. No words. I kept walking. I stopped at the floral arch, the one I made sure would glow at golden hour. Celeste's laugh froze. Her smile half formed. Julian's hand dropped. I said, "Real family doesn't pay for this." Then I turned and left. Not in rage, but finally, fully done. No one followed. One person might have called out, but the wedding kept going, like I'd never been there at all. Outside, the air felt different, fresh, calm. I got in my car, untied my tie. The envelope still in my jacket, no texts, no missed calls. I sat for 10 minutes, just breathing, and for the first time in years, I wasn't angry. I was free.